You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. Well, yesterday we did a video where we found out that Brittney Griner had wrote a quote-unquote direct letter to President Joe Biden, quote-unquote again, asking the president not to forget about her, letting him know that she was terrified that she is currently detained in Russia. Her trial, I believe, will start back on Thursday over there. And, of course, this has to do with cannabis oil in vape cartridges, an offense that in Russia is around 10 years in Russian prison. And she wrote this open letter, and she talked about how much she appreciated the 4th of July and how much she appreciated her freedom, which is, well, we don't pull any punches on this channel. Hey, that's not what you were talking about a few months earlier when you were preaching social justice narratives and preaching oppression, things like that in this country. So the funny thing is, Joe Biden, the White House, for the most part, has been silent. Well, Cheryl Griner, Brittney Griner's wife, has come out and made some further comments that have to do with the letter that Joe Biden received, and it's not good for Brittney Griner. It's not. She admitted in the letter she voted for Joe Biden, and all I've got to say is, do you have buyer's remorse as of yet? That's all I'm saying. The fact that I'm hearing that Joe Biden hasn't done anything doesn't really break away from his track record at this point, does it? WNBA star Brittney Griner's wife laments Biden's disheartening silence on Russian detainment. WNBA star Brittney Griner is pleading her case to President Biden, asking if the U.S. can intervene and liberate her from her long-standing Russian detainment amid fears that she may be imprisoned, quote, forever. In recent weeks, Griner's wife, Cheryl, broke her silence as well, calling for the Biden White House to step up. Yeah, she recently slammed the White House. Let's listen to this. This has to do with the letter that was received by the president, and this is Brittney Griner's wife giving the feedback from the letter.
On her home sooner rather than later. Before you go, have you heard from the White House since the letter was delivered to President Biden? In her letter, she says the first time she voted was in 2020, and that vote was for President Biden. Have you heard from him?
I still have not heard from him, and honestly, it's very disheartening.
Okay. I mean, there you go. She's saying, I still have not heard from him. It kills me every time that I write to her, and she's saying, have you met with him? I have to say no. She told CBS Morning's Gayle King about her wife. I'm sure she's like, I'm going to write him, I'm going to ask, because my family has tried to no avail, so I'm going to do it myself. There's part of me that truly believes that Joe Biden has no idea who Brittney Griner is. I mean, there's even a part of me that wonders if Putin has no idea who she is. I mean, you just don't know here, okay? I feel like Putin does. But I don't know why anybody thinks Joe Biden's going to get a fire lit under him over anything these days. Anything. Our country is in shambles right now because of this guy. And Brittney Griner and your wife, you guys voted this guy in. I mean, buyer's remorse, I hope, by now. Cheryl Griner said Biden's silence to her wife's handwritten letter is very disheartening. I still have not heard from him. Cheryl, who wed Griner in 2017, said she had been silent for the majority of her detainment, but decided to make her voice heard after realizing her silence produced no progress. Quote, everything is this calculation for me. because I have to walk the fine line of harm versus help when it comes to my wife. Initially, I was told we're going to handle this behind the scenes, so let's not raise her value and stay quiet. You know, I did that, and respectfully, we're over 140 days in at this point, and that does not work. So I will not be quiet anymore. The WNBA star who received backlash for her opposition to playing the national anthem at basketball games has a patriotic side, according to Cheryl, and she decided to write Biden on the 4th of July for that reason. She cherishes the 4th of July. Her dad fought in the Vietnam War. Then you shouldn't have probably opposed the national anthem. BG loves that, so she cherishes this holiday, and she uses it as a day to honor his service and freedom, as she should. So I know that it's killing her that she wasn't able to do annual fireworks shows and put chairs on the lawn for all of us to sit down and really give him the respect that he's due. Cheryl continued stressing Griner's appreciation for America, saying she repeatedly stated that she would enlist in the military if she were not a basketball player. Again, not a good idea to get out and celebrate Marxist organizations like Black Lives Matter and to oppose the national anthem if you are truly patriotic. In fact, it would have been that time to have broke the narrative of the WNBA and spoke out against all of that. I'm being real here. I'm being honest here. The Russian Federal Customs Service charged Griner with large-scale transportation of drugs after arresting her at a Moscow airport. We saw video of that. A charge that Cheryl says blew her mind, and that she knew the allegations was false as soon as she heard them. And in case you're wondering, Griner has played over in Russia for 7 years. Okay, fully aware, you would have to think of their laws involving things like narcotics, things like drugs, bringing in and out of their country. A lot of politicians are trying to make a name for themselves off this case, out there virtue signaling. The NBA has gotten involved. Chris Paul has gotten involved with the Phoenix Suns. And I don't know that any of that is helping Brittney Griner's case. In fact, I tend to lean towards the fact that it might actually antagonize Putin. It might actually, for lack of a better way of putting it, piss Putin off. The more he realizes, the more he hears about it, because he's going to feel like, look, this person broke our laws. You have no say in my country as to what our punishment is for our laws. Your citizen came in here. And in fact, they talked to a direct hand of Putin about this case. And the interviewer asked, I did this video, the interview asked, do you think it sends a great message to have Griner locked up, since she's part of sports, and that's not a great message? And the guy from Russia, Putin's right-hand person, said, you know what's not a great message? Bringing drugs into our country. I mean, it was that serious, that to the point, that not playing around. So, anyway, that's where we are. Her wife is worried. You haven't heard back from Joe Biden. He seems to be ignoring you. Seems to be ignoring Brittney Griner. He himself has made no comments about this. And part of me wonders if Joe Biden has personally worked on this situation at all. Myself and John Matrix both yesterday said our gut feeling was no. He hasn't done anything. That's, it is what it is. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Once again, I contend Trump would have already had her out. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.